It's such a delight to be following the conversation since morning. And thank you so much, Mary, for the invitation and for this amazing platform.
Thank you, Karimut. So I know that you do a lot of work in the social development space and the education space as well, helping young leaders, helping young people, So I want to ask, right, how can young African leaders ensure that sustainability principles are integrated into national policies and business practices?
Yeah, thank you so much, Mina, for the question. I think that I'm just going to echo what almost everyone has been talking about, and that is how much African as a continent, how much we have the human resources. Right now, Africa is the youngest population in the world. We have an incredible amount of young people that have not just the wisdom, but also the strength to build a world that is sustainable. And of course, it's very important for us to be able to integrate sustainability practice into national policies, into businesses. It is very important. And there are diverse ways where young people like myself, like yourself, can do that on the national scene, on the local scene, the international scene. And one of that is having conversations like we having, coming together as young people to talk about what we need to do, what we need to shape in our society. It's us always very important. And another way, which we have to, it's advocacy. Advocacy is very important. It's we seeing a problem in our society and saying that we need to integrate this. Looking at the education policy in Nigeria, we need to say, oh, yeah, I'm using Nigeria as an example because I come from Nigeria. And then it also mirrors the other African country to say that our education policy has to be very effective, has to be gender transformative. Our education policy has to like cover everyone, irrespective of where they come from or their demography. Advocacy is very important. And another key way is also through strategic partnership. We cannot do it all. We need to create a solidarity amongst ourselves. We need to come together as young people to create this partnership that is going to push a formidable growth in our national policy. And another key example that I'm going to say to that is the popular not too young to run bill in Nigeria. And when you look critically at this bill, when you look critically at this law that says that people within an age range can now run for offices in Nigeria as against the previous policy, you see that it was a coalition of young people coming together to form a partnership and push this bill from the inception to the realization of this bill. So it's very important for us as young people to come together and see ourselves as building blocks, not as stumbling blocks. I mean, yeah, I work in education, I work in gender equality. I cannot do it all. I cannot build this policy that would transform Nigeria. But of course, when I look into perspective and then see people like Mary, people like you that are doing amazing work and coming together to say, yes, let's form a coalition to make sure that this policy can be integrated, to make sure that this sustainability practice can be integrated in our national policy or on the international policies. Or it's very important. And I think very much important also as young people, we need to build our capacity, ask ourselves where am I lacking? Where do I need to do better? Capacity building is very, very important. And when we want to make a decision, we should also back it up with data. Data is very important. Look at the numbers, look at the facts, and then be able to push these policies, push these practices with data and also fact. Yeah. And then, very much importantly, and lastly, as young people, we need to know that our voices are very important. Our voices are very strong and very powerful. So we should not stop holding our leaders accountable in everything that we do. We are the voices. All these older people, they think that, yeah, this is their time. They make the laws, they do everything. But of course, the time is shifting. Things are changing. And yes, young people are not just the future of tomorrow. We are the future of today. So we have to start talking. We have to start holding our leaders accountable, calling them out when we think they're doing something wrong, and also proposing solutions that will better shape Africa and make us a better continent. Yeah.
Much.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Delight, for that amazing key takeaways. I think that some of my key takeaways from our conversation on sustainability is to remind young leaders that are here that we need to keep on using our voices to speak up about what we want to see in our society. Advocacy is very important. We need to continue to engage our policymakers, and also we should know that our voices is very important to influence national policies, agenda on both the national scene and also on the international scene. And also very important as young people, we should continue to hold our government, our leaders accountable, because if we don't do it, who do we want to leave this to? So yeah, someone made mention that we cannot leave Africa. I mean, we have to rebuild Africa ourselves. Nobody's going to rebuild Africa for us. So as young people, we have that work, we have the job to hold our leaders accountable. And also lastly, as young people, I so much love the concept of Ubuntu. Like somebody rightly said, I am because you are. Let's come together as a collective to form a strategic partnership and rebuild Africa and influence decisions both at the national and the international scene. So in just very simple words, advocacy, partnership, and holding our leaders very accountable. Thank you so much.